Ooh. Oh, hey guys. It's a little cold right now. It's kind of crazy. I decided to do this video outdoors, not indoors like usual. But yeah, I just wanted something different. So for today's video, I'm actually going to talk about my, I guess, long-term review of the Nikon Z8. I read a lot about the Z8 before initially pulling the trigger. I was kind of hesitant because like it was big, bulky, and I wasn't sure at that time it was the right move for me. For some reason, it went on sale. Like I think it's like $500 cheaper than initial MSRP price. The Z8 is my main workhorse for my weddings and now video. Double stack sensor. I think it's a 44 megapixel camera. It can shoot in NRAW, which is actually pretty cool. It can shoot in 8K NRAW at 60/30, 25/24, and at no crop, which is kind of neat. You can shoot in 4K 120, 100, 60, 50, 30, 25, which is pretty awesome. So there's lots of like specs and codecs you can work with, which is very excellent. But of course though, I learned the hard way that I needed a really fast CF Express Type B card to be able to even run all those different frame rates and resolutions. The shooting experience so far has been really good. There's no blackout period during each shutter, which is kind of crazy. Each photo you take, there's no blackout. There's no blackouts in between two shots. I can keep spanning the shot, and it's super quick. And that's like, I never experienced that. Like none of the cameras I previously owned had that fast of a I guess capturing speed. But hey, kudos to Nikon adding so much technology into that camera. Price point, I think every camera at that point is really good for what it does, right? It's just mainly based on like preference. And yeah, it's been really great. Like I can't complain. But yeah, you'll see some examples of like some of the photos I've taken for weddings and portraits, and just even like more video. Anyways, I think this spot's getting a little stale, so let's just move to a different location. Alright guys, so let's start with really good points of this camera. One is that it's feature rich, to be expected at that, $5,000 price point. Let's start with the features that I really like. One is like the double stack sensor. There's no moving parts in terms of like, a mechanical shutter. There's virtually almost no rolling shutter on this because the fact that it's a double stack sensor and really fast readout speed, right? That's great. The other thing that I really like with this camera is like the build quality. It's probably by far the best build camera I have ever owned in my life. The GFX 100S Mark II comes pretty close, but damn, this is like a little bit above the GFX. The only cheap thing about this camera is the the battery door is so flimsy and there's no springs. Yeah, there's no. It's kind of weird that it just flaps like that. I kind of wish they added some sort of like springs to keep it from not moving so much. But hey, that's that's like a weird thing on a $5,000 camera. So for photos, so I've already been exposed to Nikon's RAW files because I've owned the Nikon Z8 for a while, and the files are actually quite pleasant to edit. They're very earthy. They give an earthy feeling. It's more on like I guess the green, and I just really love about Nikon's files is that it's easy to work with their highlights and exposure. Oh no, highlights and their white balance. Because with the highlights, like for some reason, as much as I love Fujifilm's RAW files because they're pretty easy to work with to achieve a certain film look, I actually think Nikon's RAW files are much easier to work with than Fujifilm's in terms of achieving that like film-like look, right? It was just very surprising to me. My experience applies for the Z8 also, because those two files between the ZF and the Z8 are quite similar. So it wasn't a hard transition for me to move over to that and edit all my files, or edit all the files from this camera here. It's been great, and yeah, so I should probably move indoors now. Okay, I'll see you guys inside. Bye. Oh, all right, that's better. So, as you all know, so based on the photos and some of the video clips I've put together in the past, I guess 3-4 months, I can safely say is that it's a great camera. It's an amazing camera. It has everything you could possibly need in terms of photos and video. I feel like at that price point, you're just being very, very nitpicky about certain things about the camera in terms of features or I guess the build quality, the ergonomics, whatnot. Speaking of ergonomics, though, the camera is pretty huge. It's big and bulky. I guess that's because they wanted to keep that DSLR small hands, right? I do have a difficult time holding it. I find that I actually have to, I guess, spend or put more effort in holding the camera than compared to the ZF, the GFX, the Lumix, some of the Canon cameras I've tried in the past, the R6 Mark II, yeah, and even the R5 Mark II. It's pretty damn big in comparison. It's probably the biggest camera I ever owned in my life. I think on the photo end, it's great. Video, yes, it's great. Like the fact that you can shoot an 8K 60 at no crop in internal and RAW, which is mind-boggling to me how they're able to do that. The one thing I did notice is that you don't have the option to shoot in 6K at no crop, which is, I feel like, is that a miss? Is that because of like software? Is it hardware related? Is it software related? I'm not quite sure. I feel like you could easily do like 6K at no crop, right? But I guess maybe they saved that 6K at no crop for the Z6 III. The third nitpick for me is that what is wrong with the Z8's EVF and LCD screen? Like the colors and exposure don't match between the two, and on top of that, the EVF's resolution is only 3.69 million dots. That's very surprising coming from a $5,000 camera, right? If you look at other cameras, like for example the S1R2, like very similar price, but the EVF is like 5.69 dots, which is great. Oh heck, even the Nikon Z6 III has better EVF than the Z8. So I feel like that's a miss. I kind of wish the EVF was a little bit better. Other than that, guys, Z8's a great camera. That's all I can really say. The examples I showed you from video and photos, I hope that kind of seals the deal that you can confidently buy the Z8 if you're looking to buy the Z8. By the way, I bought all this shit with my own money, so Nikon is not sponsoring me or anything like that. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna hit the bed. Good night.